ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, January the 17th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and let's get right to some Skycam images this morning. Here's a look at our Skycam shot over Mount Cheehaw, or from Mount Cheehaw, and certainly the sun coming up this morning. Clouds entered the picture last night, and that's helped to keep temperatures up, especially across the western and central parts of the state. And here's a look at Gadsden, looking out over the city lights there, and we can see the sun beginning to peak, a little sunlight peeking out over the eastern horizon there. And in Birmingham, we're looking out over Red Mountain and the lights of some of Birmingham and the UAB area, and certainly beautiful morning, although it's cold, but not as cold as yesterday morning, so I guess we have to look on the bright side. We've got general high pressure, and I don't know what's happening with the maps here. They got a low and a high side by side. Just ignore that. It's high pressure, very high pressure, as a matter of fact, over the eastern half of the country, and especially the southeastern part of the country. And our trough is beginning to moderate just a little bit, not a great deal, but the clouds helped last night. And unfortunately, they interfered with my viewing of the ISS, the International Space Station. Temperatures are still pretty chilly over the eastern half of the country. You can see some minus values there in Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, and West Virginia. So it is still quite cold, but look at that. Actually, temperatures in Birmingham colder than the up in Montana. So the kind of the warmth returning up there. Here's a closer look at home, and we can see that there's still quite a contrast. There's Atlanta and Anniston at 20, and Birmingham at 26, and Tuscaloosa at 29. So we've certainly seen a bit of a turnabout, and certainly not what I was forecasting anyway. I thought we'd probably be down around 16, 17 degrees this morning. The northern tier of the United States still under a bunch of winter storm advisories, as is parts of New England. And so the winter weather still continuing to threaten the U.S. The main rain effect over the next few days is going to be down to the south. I think that's where they're going to get the most amounts, and I believe the QPF has got it pretty well. And we're still dealing with that, always the thing we deal with in the winter, where we've got the cold air arriving and the moisture exiting, and what's the timing of the two? And I think the result is the most we're going to see is the possibility of some snow flurries. All right, here is the 500 millibar pattern for today at midday at noon, and we can see the big long wave trough position over the eastern half of the country and the long wave ridge position over the western part of the country. And then by tomorrow, the ridge is sharpening up, as is the trough once again, and that's going to help to bring us another kind of a shot of cold air after a little bit of moderation today. And also, it's going to bring some moisture. Now, I think the main threat for rain is going to be kind of from Birmingham southward, and we may see some light precipitation in the morning across the northern part of the state. And I think it's going to be a situation where the cold air gets in here, and I looked at 850 temperatures as well, and it looks like the cold air arrives as the moisture is ending. So I think we're going to be fine. The possibility, especially north of I-20, that we might see some snow flurries. The trough stays pretty sharp on Monday, and of course that keeps us pretty cold, with the possibility of some clouds. And if you have a few clouds around, of course, you may see, a few snow flurries, because that's just what happens. If we had warm air and clouds, you'd see a little light mist. By Tuesday, the main shortwave is exiting Alabama, and that means that we're going to be cold, and once again, another morning shot of some cold air along with some moisture. So once again, the possibility that we might see a little wintry mix, especially kind of north of I-20, using that as a boundary there. By Wednesday, we begin to see some pretty good changes as a ridge off to our west begins to moderate things, and you can see the 540 line, using that as just a guideline. The colder air now moved off to the east and northeast away from us, and the moderation really getting underway on Thursday, with a large surface high pressure over the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and you can see that the 540 line way up into north of the Ohio River Valley. We're still plagued with a long wave trough, though, over the eastern half of the country. You can see from the 500 millibar pattern on Friday. And then notice also we're getting a little kind of southern stream short waves. We got one coming on the Southern California coast and one in East Texas. And that looks like that could prove to be kind of a wet Thursday night into Friday for the southeastern U.S. as we're under a little bit more of a southwesterly flow aloft. The little shortwave zips on through by Saturday, and that should mean that we'll clear out, but we've got another one back there in California. And so I think that by Saturday morning, most of the precipitation should be ending. And we're under, by Monday, we're under a nice southwesterly flow. That should warm things up nicely, but it also means more moisture and the possibility that we may be seeing some wet periods, as you can see from the surface chart here. Now, that's getting into voodoo, so we're not going to talk a lot about it. Now, 300 hours out, this is the 29th, and where you can see that the long wave trough position and the amplitude is not nearly as great, but it picks up once again off to our west with another really stout shortwave, and that this is the 1st of February, and that looks like we could enter February with a bit of a stormy period. But, of course, we're in voodoo, and I'm sure we'll see this change quite a lot. Listen, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. Expect to have the next one posted bright and early tomorrow morning, especially since I've got to usher church tomorrow, so I've got to be there by 8 o'clock. So we should have this posted by 7 to 7:30. Hope that you have a great Saturday, and Godspeed.
Weather.